Hi, brides. I'm about to make your photographer super mad at me, but I wanted to share with you why you should not have an unplugged ceremony. This is not a video I ever would have wanted to make. And it's not a stance I probably would have taken if it wasn't for our wedding. Having an unplugged ceremony means asking your guests not to take photos during the ceremony. This is something that's become the trend lately. You'll see lots of cute signs saying, please don't take any photos. And there are a lot of pros to having an unplugged wedding. First off, they're not in the way of your photographer, so your photographer gets to get all the shots that they can, all the shots that they want, and nobody's standing in their way, literally standing in their way. It's also great because your guests get to sit there and really be in the moment without looking through your wedding through a lens. But unfortunately, I have reasons why you really should not do an unplugged ceremony. Just a couple quick side notes. We did not have an unplugged ceremony. We allowed our guests to take any photos they wanted, and it was because of my reasons here. And also, we had 2 photographers as well as a videographer. So there were 3 people shooting content during our wedding. I have 5 reasons why you should not have an unplugged ceremony. Number 1, you will get more photos. Think about it. You have guests taking photos, you have your photographer taking photos, you're getting video from your videographer. You have tons of different photos from everybody. As good as your photographer is, they can't be everywhere. That's just how it is. It's not them. It's not bad talk on your photographer. They just can't be physically in every spot, capturing every moment. There was one point in our wedding where my 18-year-old niece came right up to me as we were doing the ceremony and asked for me. Now, one of my friends snapped this photo, and it is one of my most cherished photos from the day. But my photographer didn't catch it because she was walking around to the other side to get something else. Another great photo we got from a friend is a photo of the first kiss. She got a perfect angle that we really liked, and nobody was in her way. It was just a clear shot, and it's a really great shot of our first kiss. Whereas our photographer photos of our first kiss weren't exactly our favorites. Not that they weren't good, it was just not exactly what we would expect. And you know what? We probably would never have known that unless we saw our friend's photo and went, oh, I like this one a lot more. That's nothing on our photographer. She did a wonderful job, but it just gave us more photos to enjoy of the entire ceremony and reception. The second great thing is that you will get to see your photos faster. Now, as a bride who just got married, you are going to want to see these photos as soon as you can. Yes, our photographer sent us a couple sneak peeks, but seeing the photos that our friends were sending us, oh gosh, it just made me so excited, and I just wanted to keep seeing more and more. You can use these photos for your thank you cards, for your announcement on social media. There's photos that you're going to be able to use that you won't have until your professional photos come in later. I was a bridesmaid in one of my friend's weddings after our wedding, and she did the same thing. They were emailing everybody, texting them, saying, hey, send me the photos that you have. Because as a bride and a groom, you just want to see those photos as soon as possible. It's a beautiful day, and you just want to relive the moment and actually see what it was looking like. Now, the main reason why we decided not to have an unplugged ceremony was this one. Your guests might actually take your favorite photo ever. I was at a friend's wedding once, and the guy next to me snapped their favorite photo. You know it's their favorite because they use it all the time. They used it on social media, they used it on their thank you cards, they use it everywhere. It just happened to be a great angle, a great moment, some genuine expressions, and it is truly a great photo. Knowing this, it made me think that I wanted my friends to be able to snap photos if they preferred. Your guests can get different views, different angles, and get different emotions and stuff capturing those moments that maybe your photographer might miss or might be at a totally different angle of it that they're not seeing. Another good reason is that you are going to be able to see your guest perspective from the wedding. Your photographer is getting all the perfect shots of you guys up at the aisle by yourselves, or just showing you in the bridal party, or you in the audience, or guests, whatever they are. But if your guests are taking photos, you actually get to see what it was like from their seat. You get to see what your guests got to see from their point of view. They're probably the ones that are capturing the kid picking their nose, or the grandma crying, or something like that. They're the ones capturing those other moments. Now, the most heartbreaking reason, and the one that I wish I did not have to live through, is that things can happen. We have read too many sad situations of a camera going down, someone forgot to put in a memory card gets wiped on the computer during editing, or a hard drive gets dropped. And those precious memories are erased or gone forever. Now, this thing happened to us. We got most of our photos from the entire day, and they turned out all beautifully, but we are missing our family photos from right after our ceremony. Now, this was not just heartbreaking to me and my husband, it was heartbreaking to our family, who expected to see those photos and hang them on the wall with all the other wedding family photos. This is not talking badly about my photographer. It's not saying she did anything wrong. It was just a fluke accident where those specific set of photos got erased. She's done everything she can in her power to make it better and get them fixed or unerased, or however that works. Just unfortunately, it has not happened, and we just don't have those photos. It's been 9 months now since our wedding, and I'm still pretty heartbroken about it, to be honest. A silver lining for us is that our videographer did happen to walk over when we were taking photos with his family. And so I was able to get a couple screenshots from a side view of our family taking photos with his side. I have nothing of my family and us, which just kills me every time I think about it. If we had an unplugged ceremony, we would be missing out on some of my favorite photos. Now, yes, you have to take into consideration who your guests are. If you have an Aunt Irma who always brings her iPad to everything and you're worried she's going to stand in the way, you do need to talk to her, or you do need to find some way to not let her be in the way of the photos. Maybe have an usher that's designated to stop the taking of photos, or have somebody hanging out with your photographer that can move people that they need to move. But the biggest reason not to have an unplugged wedding is because things can happen. They could be the best, most professional photographer, and something might happen. It's technology. You never know. I'm sharing my heartbreaking experience because I don't want anybody else going through this. And not doing an unplugged ceremony actually have saved us some really treasured moments in those photos that our guests have been able to capture. Of course, photos are the best memory of the day, including your video also, but not having some of those, it could just be gut-wrenching. So as much as your photographer is probably not going to like this video, I just want you to take into consideration these things that can happen. It is a gamble no matter what you do. It's a gamble to say, we're having an unplugged ceremony and something could happen with those photos. And it's a gamble to say, we're not having an unplugged ceremony and Aunt Irma's going to stand in the way with her iPad. Either way, something can happen. Something can always happen. We understand that. But I just want you to have all the information and think of both sides, and not just what your photographer is pushing you towards. Think of both sides and think about what really matters to you, what could happen, what you're not worried about happening, and just making that decision based on both sides. My sister had an unplugged ceremony and she still had people taking photos. So again, it's going to be up to your guests. It's going to be up to what you decide, how you decide to address it. Every wedding's different. Every guest is going to be different. Just take with that what you will. I am here to give you all the real, hard, true advice, not just the good stuff. And this is one of those videos that I just didn't want to make, but I felt like I had to make because I don't want people going through this and feeling the same way. We see time and time again brides on these groups upset about photos that their photographer didn't capture, or something that got messed up. But having an unplugged ceremony kind of makes you have to deal with whatever you get from your photographer. If you have an unplugged ceremony, if you don't have an unplugged ceremony where your guests get to take photos, then there's a less likely chance that you're gonna miss out on as much as you would with an unplugged ceremony. They're both great options, to be honest. It's hard, it's a tough one. It's just like the first look, which we were going back and forth on too, and I'll probably make a video about first looks as well. But that's our experience, and that's our sad truth. It's not the end of the world. We're married. We had a wonderful day. It's just one little notch that took away a little bit from the day after. And something that we look back on, and every time I think of our photos, it just makes me really wish they were not gone. Not to be all depressing, but that's it. I want you to think of both sides. I want you to do exactly what's right for you and your groom to be, and make sure you get a good photographer. Photos are worth everything. All right, that's it for this one. I promise to be a little more upbeat in the next one and not so depressing. Hit subscribe below so you can follow us and hear all of our new advice and videos coming out. And I will see you soon.